right? Right, his name is Turnip. And so the whole story is kind of weird because I don't really understand it. Basically, there's this nuclear war, and then there are these plants that sit inside of this bunker, and they learn how to talk, right? And there's this one plant called Mayor Onion, and he learns about taxes. And he's like, I want to be all powerful. I want to become like what the humans had and make them all pay me. But in reality, all he wanted was to have access to, like, he wanted to basically become God. But the whole story was that Turnip Boy refused to pay his taxes, racked up $184,000 in tax debt, and then had to go around doing odd jobs for the mayor. But the whole point of the game was to say, hey, remember kids, don't pay your taxes. Like, the actual ending song is, we won't pay our taxes.
I mean, alright.
Like, the whole ending song is, we won't pay our taxes because we have other stuff to worry about.
So true.
Like,
taxes are so stupid. I really don't understand why they exist.
So, we get things, we get to keep things. The way America does taxes, though, is really stupid.
Aw, the yoke broke.
But every I
didn't even touch it yet.
Sometimes it just happens, which is kind of annoying, especially whenever I do one with the yolk. And the yolk breaks.
But I can't find this one.
Taxes.
Watermelon is making my teeth hurt.
Taxes were initially developed by ancient kingdoms, not necessarily as a way of control, but just as a way of keeping everything safe. Like, the way you became a king back then was that, do you have lots of money? Yes. Can you pay lots of people? Yes. To protect you and your land and fight wars? Yes. Then that's how you became a king. But later down the road, they realized, hang on, wait a minute. What if we just, like, we're protecting all these people. What if we just have them pay a small amount of what they make every year, so that way we can continue doing stuff and I can stay rich, and they have to pay very little. Because there are a lot of people. Lots of people, little amounts, equally adds up. The issue came, though, is when taxes became less about just trying to keep things in check, and became more about trying to keep the people in check. Because there was no real, downside to not paying your taxes. Oh, I forgot to pay my taxes. It's okay. There's a road just down your street that needs to be fixed. You can go fix that and we'll call it good. It was less about keeping power and it was more about keeping...
Yeah, we should still be doing that shit.
It was more about making sure everything kept being clean. What's that? Oh, you have 5,000 gold in debt? It's okay. We'll pay your debt, but you have to go harvest 60 pounds of crop or give us 2 cattle and we'll call it good. That's how they did it. Not, oh, what's that? You didn't pay your taxes? Throw them in jail.
Compensate their house. Murder their children. They haven't done that one yet. Yet is the key word.
What are you guys even...
None of your business.
I can hear what you're talking about.
You are too small and don't even know your ABCs.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You literally do not.
Then just be quiet.
Kaylin, shut the fuck up.
You shut up.
And that's the reason why a lot of people like monarchs so much. It's not necessarily because one person has all the power, but because one rich person has all the power. That have to follow by rules. Because think about this. Modern day, we've got the IRS, we've got tax collectors, right? People who threaten you if you don't pay your taxes. Back then, they didn't really have tax collectors. Occasionally, a guard might show up to your house like, hey, you haven't paid your taxes in like 3 years. You think you can get on that? Like, they didn't really care if you didn't pay it. There were millions of other people who did pay it. And even then, you were producing products for the government. So even then, they didn't care. Another thing, back then, the government didn't really care what you did. As long as you weren't like trying to kill the king, they genuinely could care less what you were doing. Unless you were killing people, trying to kill the king or overthrow the government, they didn't care. That's the reason why so many people married their cousins or their nephews or their nieces. No one really cared. The government didn't give a crap. They were like, you